In Universe 11, after JIREN accepts Vermouth's proposal to get stronger and stronger, JIREN ends up being taken to a planet that would be ideal for JIREN to get stronger in an absurd way, on a planet in Universe 11. After JIREN and Vermouth arrived on the planet, they both began to fly and contemplate the landscape that the planet offered. However, Vermouth began to become cautious and in an instant alerted JIREN. Vermouth said, "JIREN, this planet is known for being an extremely effective place in terms of training. However, there is a reason for this, and it is precisely because of the prehistoric creatures that live here, beings that appear not to be strong, but in reality, their forces are absurd. So be careful." Guys, before continuing this epic story, I left your like to help the channel, and of course, if you can, I also left a super thank you and help the channel financially, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news. Now let's go back to the video. JIREN said, "Are you talking about these creatures that are flying and walking through this forest surrounded by magma? They are quite strange indeed. They are beings made of total lava. This training is going to be more interesting than I thought," said JIREN, who was looking forward to the training. After a brief conversation, they both land in the forest, and soon after, Vermouth, who was anxious about JIREN's future results, begins to give an explanation about his training. Vermouth said, "JIREN, now that we are finally here, I will explain to you how Wild Instinct works. This technique consists of greatly increasing your physical attributes, but it has an even more important detail. It can make the user who has mastered this technique has 100% accurate and critical attacks that are engraved on the opponent's body, causing a lot of pain even if the opponent has enormous resistance," Vermouth said, showing an excited smile. JIREN said, "What? Is it really possible to always land attacks? I thought this would only be possible when you have rigorous training. I never imagined there would be a technique like this. I need to learn it. I have to strengthen myself, whatever the cost." JIREN spoke with animation. Vermouth said, "In fact, I invented this technique myself. In fact, it wasn't long ago that I invented it. I was able to formulate this technique by taking the basis of Ultra Instinct, which is absolute defense. And having that as a basis, I was able to formulate the force that opposes absolute defense. I call it Wild Instinct. It is the force that opposes the defense of Ultra Instinct," Vermouth said, showing a confident smile. After both talked about the technique, Vermouth and JIREN continued walking through the forest, always being aware of the beings that lived in that place, and now the focus of the training would be the fight against these brutal creatures that dominated that jungle. JIREN and Vermouth continued walking until they came across a brutal, ferocious reptile with a carapace made of lava and magma that suddenly attacked them. However, both dodged it with extreme ease. JIREN said, "Vermouth, leave it to me. Apparently this animal is determined to kill us, but his mistake was trying to do something like that. Disappear," JIREN said, going towards the reptile and attacking it with several blows. Vermouth said, "Ha ha ha ha. JIREN, you fool! Apparently you haven't figured it out yet, have you? When I said these creatures were strong, I wasn't kidding you. My comment really was serious. These creatures stand out for being weak in physical strength, but they are rewarded with a practically impenetrable defense. The lava and magma that surrounds these creatures can defend them from any type of attack. These creatures have extremely crazy genetics." Vermouth spoke, seeing the creatures intact without suffering any damage from JIREN's attacks. JIREN said, "I understand, Vermouth, but how can I put the Wild Instinct into practice? If I can't learn it soon, then I will never be able to defeat these creatures. I need to learn urgently," said JIREN, desperate to learn the new technique. Vermouth said, "Okay, now I see a lot of determination in you. Well, first, let's go to a waterfall that is 5 kilometers from here. When we get there, you will be able to understand the basis of your training," said Vermouth, who was heading towards the waterfall. Vermouth and JIREN quickly arrive at a waterfall, and when they arrive, JIREN soon realizes how crazy that place was, because what he was seeing in front of him was a waterfall made up of the lava that those beasts had in their bodies. JIREN said, This is the lava that those animals have?" Vermouth, "I'm not doubting your training method, but what exactly will it help me with? I don't see a single method of getting stronger just by sitting in a waterfall." Vermouth said, "Ha ha ha ha. You really don't understand, do you? Now, I want you to head under that waterfall. Resist the extreme magma of the waterfall. When you do this, you will understand what you should do. Don't question, just go." JIREN, who had no choice, soon headed towards the waterfall and sat down, being in the center where the magma fell. He could feel the immense heat that waterfall possessed, and although he was an extremely trained warrior against situations of extreme heat, the heat he felt was different from usual. Jiren in his thoughts said, "How strange, I don't feel any kind of pain or anything like that, but it's extremely hot around me, much more than it should be. This is very strange, I can't understand the point of this. Damn, this training turned out to be more complicated and difficult than I expected." Then Jiren began to enter his state of meditation, and as time passed, Jiren could feel the heat filling his body. It was as if all that warm environment was merging with him. From this point on, Jiren begins to feel unbearable pain, to the point where all his muscles swell in a surreal way. Vermouth said, "Jiren, what is that? What is happening? Come on, tell me, what went wrong?" Vermouth spoke, being extremely worried. Jiren said, "No, it's nothing, Vermouth. It was just an oversight, but I can handle it myself. I won't give up until I can complete this stage of training," spoke Jiren, who remained determined given the situation he found himself in. Jiren's act of wanting to merge with different genetics with his own through his K began to cause an energy disturbance throughout his body because his organism did not recognize that genetics. Meanwhile, Jiren continued to resist the pain. Jiren thought, "I have to find a way to solve this problem. The simple act of trying to control my Kai to try to alleviate this pain is already breaking me completely. I feel as if all this heat is tearing my insides. I need to do it something." It was at that moment that Jiren had an idea, so Jiren gave up his ki completely, leaving his body and mind free, and after doing this, results began to appear for Jiren. His body merged more and more with that environment. He could feel his body molding itself to normality, and then he had finally completed his training. Vermouth said, "Yeah, you really are surprising, Jiren. You finally did it, Splendid. Congratulations, your effort will take you to extremely high levels from now on. Even I didn't expect this unexpected result, but you managed to surprise me as always," Vermouth said, being proud of the progress Jiren had made. Vermouth said, "Great, now you will have to face one of these creatures that remain in this forest. If you manage to eliminate them with a single attack in a critical way, it means that your training will be almost complete. Well, as you said, we can't waste time, so let's go." Jiren and Vermouth walked quietly through the forest with the intention of seeing other of those animals again, until finally they managed to find a huge four-armed giant surrounded by magma and lava. Jiren said, "Well, now is my time. I need to check the results of my training right now. Here I come, get ready," said Jiren, who was positioned in his combat pose. The monster soon notices Jiren's presence and decides to attack him quickly. However, Jiren places his punch in the center of the monster's belly, and in a second, the monster ends up being completely obliterated without leaving any remains. Jiren could feel the results. It was truly possible to overcome an absolute defense, and he had proven it. Vermouth said, "Great, congratulations. Your training has really paid off. Now there's only one thing left for you to be fully able to use the technique." Vermouth continued, "Now the last step will be your resistance to Hakai. Now that you have an enormous force on your side, you may at least be able to resist it, but if by some chance you end up not resisting, you already know your destination, right?" Vermouth spoke, showing a serious face to Jiren. Jiren said, "Yes, I know what will happen, but I still want to test my powers. If I can resist that, it means I'm ready to fight Son Goku. You can send your attack, Vermouth." Vermouth then does his Hakai, the energy of destruction that travels throughout the environment, making all things disintegrate. At that same moment, Vermouth fires his attack strike at Jiren, who appears to be struggling to resist Hakai. Vermouth said, "Come on, Jiren, resist this. Weren't you the one who was going to defeat Son Goku? Resist. Channel and focus all your anger into your willpower. Make your emotions become strength. Let go of everything that holds you back. Come on," Vermouth said, trying to boost Jiren's spirits. And then it finally happens. Jiren manages to obliterate the Hakai with his own strength. He was intact, fully recovered from his damage. Jiren was finally ready and determined enough to fight his fight with the Saiyan Son Goku. So guys, here ends the second of the 4 battle videos between Son Goku and Jiren. Did you like it? I hope so. Leave your opinion in the comments about what you thought of this video and what you expect from this rematch between Jiren and Goku, as well as how you imagine the end of this fight. Don't forget to leave a like, and of course, if you can leave a super thanks, it will be extremely epic. And also, if you are new, subscribe to the channel to help the channel and show YouTube the strength that this channel has. Activate the notification bell to always stay up to date with new videos and content on the channel. So that's it, guys. Until next time.